You see how my classroom is set up? Very cutesy, very mindful. You see how there's space for people to walk? Very organized, very comfortable, not chaotic, very demure.
All right, did y'all see the amount of space in that room? Ideally, I might be wrong. This might be, it's always an elementary school classroom that has as much space or a middle school class that is special ed or special needs. When I think about special needs, whether it's ESOL, it's like those classes have smaller numbers. So they have a smaller class size and they're able to put desks together like that. That is not the case in a general education classroom, an elective classroom when it comes to middle school and high school. Elementary, you may be able to argue me differently. And if you can, comments are there. I know the whole reason why they pack out these classrooms for middle school and high school is not because they ideally want to, it's because they don't have the teachers. If you have the teachers, you can even it out. Now, schedules can be crazy. I remember one year having a class of 7 kids, but it had another class of 31. So that was a weird schedule that year. Nevertheless, I remember teaching in Charlotte Mac, where they told us if you had special ed kids, IEPs, you were not allowed to have any more than 20, 21 kids in that class. And if you did, you had an assistant with you. It could be another special ed. It could be a special ed teacher. If it was ESOL kids, you had an ESOL assistant or teacher in the classroom with you. But either way, you had assistants along with having those numbers. Then, as I transitioned to Richland 2, the reality is if they can get the kids in there, they got them in there. And it's not a Richland 2 thing. I think it's a district thing. I think it's a nationwide thing where we don't have enough teachers. And if you don't, and if the numbers are high, you got to put these kids somewhere. I just wish we had the space to move. So one thing I have learned and I've noticed, I was in one of the newly renovated elementary schools here in our district, one of the newer elementary schools. Ridgeview, where I was renovated in certain parts. They have what's called collaboration rooms and collaboration areas. Anyone who was going to build a school, if you're not going to make the classrooms big enough, make sure there's a space where these people can collaborate and work together. So one of the things that I loved, I even did it at my old school, Longleaf Middle School. At one point, there was a classroom I realized that was no one was using that classroom. So when we had tutorials, and there was this one class that was super loud, and there were only like maybe 25 kids in that class, we moved a group to another room. Okay. So even with my English 1 kids, even my Avid kids in Ridgeview when I was there, I utilize those collaboration spaces. So if you have collaboration spaces where kids can branch out, I will admit at Longleaf, there were spaces in the hallway with tables. If you can trust your kids and you're not that far away and you don't mind your kids spreading out, go there. Sometimes we'll be in the hallway, especially if you have carpeted hallways. I don't trust them being on the floor, but the kids don't mind. I didn't like it, but the kids didn't mind. But allowing them to go out in the hallway to have some space and freedom to move. I strongly encourage that. Utilize these spaces, people. Like I was amazed at the number of people who did not utilize the spaces, especially at Ridgeview, the collaboration rooms. We had about 4 of them, and really 5 if you include the media center. And it might be more than that. But the point I'm trying to say is it's already tight in our rooms. We can't move like we would like to. Another thing I would add, the desk with the bar, get rid of those. I don't know why we still have those. I remember those being our desk in 1998 when I was in high school. The fact that they're still in classrooms in 2024 is a problem. All desks should be a single desk and a chair, a single chair. That should be everywhere. I notice when schools are updated or schools are new, they add those. Nevertheless, the chair with the bar, the desk with the bar, blow those up. Get rid of those. If they're not comfortable, especially for our kids. Our kids are tall. Our kids are big. They can't fit in those things. They're not comfortable at all. So that's why I'll admit, last thing I will say, I was hated on. People had a problem with the desk I had. Now, granted, that wasn't my fault. I reached out to my administrator early. Someone recommended me, reach out to your administrator if you want tables. He didn't have tables for me. We had 2. And he was like, no, but I have these desks and these chairs. I looked up and got the desk and the chairs, which were a lot more comfortable. But I'll admit, when you have a class of 31, 32 kids and they got to walk around each other, it can get tight. It can get tight. So I looked up with these desks. When somebody said they knew I was leaving, they were like, there's going to be the Hunger Game for these desks and chairs, right? I was like, whatever. But yeah, that's another video for another day. But again, if your building has collaboration spaces where you can rent the space for a week or rent the space for 2 days and go in that room, allow that kids have the space and that freedom to move, do that.